Hello, everybody. This is Linda DeVitas, owner and founder of healingsonthego.com. I'm a psychic clairvoyant medium, certified healer, Reiki healer, candle manifestation channeling, dolphin healer, a whole bunch of things. Also an author of my book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, and I am the host of Healings on the Go with Linda DeVitas. I would like to welcome my special guest today, Kendall Bell, to the show. Yay! Welcome. Always nice to have you on, Kendall.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Always nice. Everyone loves you, so you have to keep coming back. Sorry.
So I hear. I love you too. Thank you. I always go where the love's at.
That's
That's where my
beautiful.
energy
So, how are
goes.
you feeling
Always.
today?
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you feeling today? There's some intense energy because I feel very drained for like 2, 3 days. I feel like no energy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's been a damp energy,
Yes.
really like dampened one, and one where we gotta, it's not really as abrupt. It's just more like overwhelming to the point where
Yes.
like we just want to sleep. you
Yes,
know,
exactly.
you
So
know,
funny.
it,
I even like me to sleep all the time. I'm like drained.
yeah. It doesn't help when it's raining too on top of that. So, I think it's, more of a time for reflection and,
Mhm.
a time for us to get back in tune with our spirits and our spirit animals and our ancestors on the other side. This is what
Yes.
I've been doing.
And I want
Yesterday
to
was,
welcome. Oh, I'm sorry. You
Go ahead.
froze and I thought you were done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yesterday was my grandma. It was her birthday. So I felt her energy heavily yesterday. Felt it
Oh, wow.
extremely heavily yesterday. So, I spent a lot of time
Wow.
just, thinking about her love, her unconditional love, how much she gave me, and the things that she does for me now, even in present day. She's protected me in so many different ways, and she's always showing me signs. So it's one of that's that time of the year right now. And, happy birthday, grandma.
Happy birthday. That's beautiful. Your
Yeah.
angel on the other side. I
Yeah.
want to say a quick hello to Ria and Phil. Thank you so much for joining. Please do like and share,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk all about spirits. There's so many different types of spirits. Some people think that, when you cross over, it's just a different realm. And so, I want to talk about the different variations of spirits. And how do you know? Some people want to know, okay, how do I know if that person's earthbound or did they get home safe on the other side? So my belief is like the movie The Ghost. When you die, I feel there's a white light, and what it is earth is like a bridge that connects you to the other side. Some spirits are too scared to cross over, whether they feel like they're going to go to a hell or they're guilty of something, or maybe they're not even ready to cross over. So that's when they become earthbound. Have you encountered one of the earthbound spirits, Kendall?
I've encountered many spirits, earthbound. It just, I believe that at the end of the day, I truthfully believe that, all of us have. We just are not aware of it. But
Yes.
yes, I have.
Mhm.
And to this day, I still do. And
Wow.
again, yeah.
I had an experience with my husband's cousin. He died very young. What he'd had a surgery, he was very heavy, and
Hmm.
he wasn't ready to cross over. So our experience was he was very clear that he was here. He would close the doors. I felt him so strong. I'm like, okay, just get a little further down because it would throw me off. But he made
Yeah.
obvious signs and he wasn't ready to cross over, to the point that back then I was learning crystal healing. And I had my teacher actually help me bring him to the light. So that's when I feel he did cross over, and he was very strong, and he didn't want to die. He didn't want to go because his mother, when we cry and mourn, they don't want to leave us. They feel bad that they're leaving us, but they can always visit. So I always told my dad, when you go, cross over because you can always visit us on the other side. You don't want your spirit to be stuck here. And
Hmm.
a quick hello, Maria saying hi, Kendall and Anne. Welcome,
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for tuning in.
Yes. So yeah. So I felt that for the first time when my grandma passed. When my grandma passed, I was young, but when she passed away. I did not believe that she was gone.
Wow.
I can still feel her. I knew she was still with me. It was amazing, like the way that it was, and like I couldn't really talk to anybody about it because I
Wow.
didn't think that anybody understood. But I
Yes.
can hear her, and she was in my dreams, and she would just show up, and I would smell her perfume and
Yes.
just little things, And but I always felt that my grandmother knew she knew her power. I felt like when she left her body, she already knew what to do. Like she knew she had a choice of leaving, and ascending or staying, and she
Wow.
can do that and she can travel in between. So I always felt that with her. So but yeah, I
Yes.
also feel it with a lot of people that I know. I've lost a lot of friends, and their parents too. And when they pass, somehow, some way, they're always in my dreams and they're always guiding me. Or one of their loved ones will reach out to me and ask me for advice or ask me, just to connect with me. And I know what I have to say and I know that I have to speak to them. So it's like they use me as a messenger for them. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. Because they know you're very open to it. That's why.
Mhm.
You're very gifted. So they're like, they know you're going to get the message across.
Yes.
Uh, so, more about earthbound spirits. A lot of suicidal victims become earthbound. And what happens? They ask me, okay, what happens if I, commit suicide? Well, I believe that if you do not finish your contract here on earth, what happens is you will have to come and repeat it again, or the soul can stick onto, like, that's how they're hauntings. They just stick around, and it's not a good thing because we're here on a mission to fulfill it and then to go home. So God only judges that soul. I feel that, I know life is hard, but hang in there because you don't want to repeat the whole thing all over again. That's what I say.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
and those traumatic things are really very devastating. So, earthbound spirits hang on to the earth and make themselves very, very clear. You can actually see them very clear because they're still on the dimension of our dimension. So, they are not on the other side. And one of the signs of earthbound spirits is knocking. They do similar like the regular spirits, but they're just more clearer. You can see them. They make their presence really strong. And it's sad when you realize that somebody is earthbound because you know that they're not enjoying the other side. They're stuck on this heavy, dense earth and they should cross over. So, whenever I get people that tell me, okay, I have an earthbound spirit in my house, how do I get rid of it? So they go around and scream, get out of here. I go, you don't do that. You have to respect the spirits like the way they respect you.
Yes, you definitely
Get
do.
out of my house. You're
You have
crazy.
to, yeah. Yeah, it's hard for us to understand that, it really is, and it's something that should be taught in schools. Like we should be taught more about the spirit world in schools and our ancestors and how we're all connected to this realm and to other realms, and how what we see in physical form is not the only form of existence, and how energy works. It would really help out a lot of people, especially in the terms of dealing with death. A lot of people are sad for a long time, for a long period of their life, because they lost their mother 30 years ago, or they lost their child, you know what I mean, 10 years ago. And it's like you're always going to feel some sort of sadness, but I feel like if we have this level of information, it will help us better cope and help us open up our hearts and our minds to develop in a different type of relationship with them. And I feel like once we get to that relationship's more powerful than the one you had in physical form, because now they're always with you.
Yes.
Like you gotta think
You
about how much
are.
time we spent away from our parents and our loved ones. They didn't see us all the time. Yes, they were our providers. They protect us. They were here. But think about it, when they're passing, they're in spirit form. Now they're everywhere, and they're
Mhm.
fighting battles that you may not even get to see yet. And they're opening up doors and clearing off paths for you that you never even knew that they were there. So it's like
True.
this is about our perspective and how we look at it, and understand that death's just as important as life.
Mhm.
It's the same thing, and the yin and the yang. We need both darkness and light in order to exist. So that's why I look at death as, I know when I pass, when I die, I know I'm going to be more powerful than I am right now in physical form, and I believe that. And I believe in the power of belief. So when I go, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make sure that, I am going to be doing what my ancestors and the people that are connected to me are teaching me while I'm here.
Exactly. That's right. And, I believe that as well. A quick hello to your Allison. Allison's here, your girlfriend.
Yeah,
Welcome, welcome, everybody. Please do like and share. Anne said she couldn't stay for the whole show, but it's okay. She
it's all
shared us
right. Man.
anyway.
We
So,
appreciate you always, Ann. Thank you for tuning in.
yes, that's sweet of her. So, I believe that as well because when we pass over, we fully understand the true meaning of why we're here. I believe life is a stage.
Hmm.
Like I said, we do pick our parents. I remember it. That's why I wrote a book. Thanks to Kendall inspiring me to write it. My darkness from my journey from darkness to the light. And you can find it on my site, healingsonthego.com. And I do remember it very clearly. Thanks to you. He really motivated me and my sister Ria, which was very sweet of her. So
You were
thank
just
you,
telling what you
both of
already knew.
you. She's like, you should write a book. I was like, yeah. Then when you told me to, I was like, okay, I should do something. I
You did it right away. You
was like,
manifested that one real quick.
yeah, I don't like to wait on it. I just like to, do it quick.
Did
I'm
it.
a quick one. So, yeah, basically, we do pick our parents, and not everything's set in stone. We do have free will, and that's where karma comes in. So while you're here, you do have soul contracts, but you also have your choices too. So that's why I always say make sure you're doing good choices because you don't want bad karma in the next life. And certain things, certain people, you pick for a reason to learn from them. Most people are lessons. Some people are here to, unfortunately, your soul wanted to experience something, whether it be forgiveness, love, healing. So in order for you to forgive them, they're going to have to hurt you. And one of my favorite books is from Neil Donald Walsh. It's called The Little Soul, and he wrote about it for kids. But it's 100% what happens, and I recommend people read that too. It talks about basically the soul comes in, and he goes, "Okay, but if you want to know forgiveness, you're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to hurt you." And then the little soul was like, "Well, I'm scared. What are you gonna do to me?" And then he goes, "But just remember who I really am. That he really comes from the light. So we're all like playing a role, and our soul is evolving, expanding, and moving up. We're all here for different purposes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's very interesting.
Forgiveness, it does relieve a lot. So much power in it. You're right. That's a good point to make right there. And
Yeah,
we spend a lot of our life carrying this dark weight, this heavy weight, thinking about what somebody did to us in the second grade. I remember when I started my journey to this healing and becoming a better version of myself, and caught myself online and on the phone calling people up that I hurt like 10 years ago. Yeah, I call them up because I had to
you're
forgive
so sweet.
myself, but I also had to extend that opportunity for them to forgive me as well. Whether they did or not, that was their choice. But I at least was able to change the last point of view that they had on me through my action in present time. So what they chose to do afterwards, they could have chose to, take the power and use it for themselves or leave it there. But it's always on the table.
Well, that's
What they
nice of
did was
you. That's good you did that because that takes a big person to admit that they're wrong. Not everyone will ever admit it. So that's shows what kind of awesome person you are to do that.
I think
That's sweet. That's
honestly,
very
I
good.
I do very conscious minded about my actions, and like I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect, but I
Right.
do admire people that become aware of what they're doing and how it affects others. You may get in the moment and when you're heated or whatever, but like I deeply admire people who can step back and be like, you know what, I could have handled this better, and they try to at least right their wrong within themselves or with whoever they're dealing with. But I admire that. Those are the only type of people that I have really close to me, because without that, there's just a big wall there. There's no growth. Yeah,
Exactly.
it would say
Exactly.
with the repetitive problems and repetitive issues that can easily be resolved and solved, but we just have to solve it within ourselves.
Exactly. That's very true. So it takes a big person to admit that what they're doing is not right.
Hmm.
So give yourself a big pat on the back. You did great. um, So also about spirits in general, the spirits that have crossed over, when you do tune into them, and psychics and mediums like I do, I'm sure you feel it too. They're at a very high bliss because you're very gifted too, Kendall. You have all your gifts. You're just very humble. And I feel that they come with a, when they cross over, they're in a very high state of bliss and they're very happy. They finally remember their home, and they never sleep. So I realized that whenever you have a hard time sleeping at night, 90% of the time, okay, we do have wandering thoughts, but also spirits visit us. And sometimes I tell my dad, I'm like, okay, can you come in my dream? Because I can't go to sleep right now. I can feel him around. So they want to talk to us. They want us to be aware that they are around us. But they
Mhm.
also, we're sensitive, so we pick up on it. So you have your mom that comes at night too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, she's been around a lot. She's been in my dreams. I've been having crazy dreams lately, but they're all my ancestors have been coming through. You know, my aunts have been coming through. My friends that have passed away have been coming through, and like I wake up, I have to sit down for like a good like 15 minutes before I even move, so I can try to understand and decipher what it is that they're trying to tell me.
Wow.
But they've been coming in heavily.
Yeah.
But it's been hard to sleep, like you said. Like yeah, I'm listening to you speak about how being hard to sleep. It's really hard for me to sleep, but when I get there, I'm there. But I'm like more of a night owl now, where like I'm not. But I feel like that time, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning is when you're most connected. At least for me, like I feel it more. I hear, the message is clearer around those times in the
Wow.
morning. I don't know if it's because the airwaves are clear. I don't know if that's just angel hour. I don't know what it is, but I
Yeah.
can hear it definitely a lot more clearer, fine tuned those times of the hour.
The portals are open during that time. Some people, yes, the angel hour. It depends on the number. 2, 3 is usually the common number when you wake up. 2 and 3, which is
Hmm.
very accurate. So, yeah, the portals are open and people are more. Um, See, when we sleep, our defense is not, our defense is down. So, anything can really show up. It depends how you feel towards the night. Sometimes you could be walking somewhere, pick up some kind of energy. But the good thing is you can also clear yourself if you have a hard time at night. What I recommend is I take my selenite and I sleep with it, and anything good stays, but the darkness will not stay because selenite vibrates the white light. So that's a good trick because it helps me a lot. So I recommend that.
I have a huge wand. It's like this
Wow.
big, like 18 inches. It's so big, and
Oh, good.
I sleep with it. It's right above my bed. I'm gonna put it under my pillow tonight, though.
Oh, nice. Good, good.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick commercial break and we will be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody. Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic clairvoyant medium and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes& and Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back with my special guest, Kendall Bell. Welcome. uh, More about spirits and hauntings. Hauntings, again, are earthbound spirits that have not crossed over. Some spirits like their home. So I'll give you an example. I was at this house, and I went to do a space clearing. Basically, this old man does not want to live. He doesn't want to leave his house for nothing. So as I was doing the cleansing, something inside me said, I don't want to go. So I said, you don't have to go, but you should stay in peace. And I felt it was an old grouchy man. He thought I was trying to get rid of him. And this lady told me, she said, the weirdest thing happens is that whenever we reconstruct our house or fix something, something angry comes in. I said, well, why do you think? And that she didn't know how to answer me. So I said, because this man is still earthbound and he feels like you're messing up his house. And he would get so angry. Like she would hear banging, and she said her husband would always be in a cranky mood. It was going through them one by one. So I did a clearing. They felt peaceful, but that spirit didn't want to leave. You can't force them out. They want to be respected like, everyone wants to be. You can't tell them, get out of here now, which made me laugh when that lady told me that. But you can tell them to live in peace, and, that you're not trying to steal their house. I guess, some entities are very attached to things, and not only the house, they're attached to objects. They could be attached to their wedding ring that they had, or like a cabinet. This friend of mine went to a thrift store, and she's like, Linda, I got this beautiful cabinet for like $15. I was thinking, oh boy. So she's like, so guess what happened? You know what happened? She picked up a spirit with it. So she comes home. She kept seeing from the corner of her eye a black spirit dressed like black clothes and stuff. So she kept seeing like a black figure, darkness. And so she's like, well, what do I do? And I said, well, you got to get rid of it. I told her. And then she said, well, I really want it. I go, okay, so keep the spirit with you. So finally she did throw it out. And what happened was that thing left with it. So be careful, guys, with thrift stores, because they do have good deals, but you do have to cleanse them, at least cleanse them. And you have to be careful with that, because it's people's energy you're picking up on. Someone told me this lady died and she was wearing like this trench coat. And then whenever she would wear it, she would feel the emotion of this lady having chest pains. So you got to be careful, especially when you're very sensitive, what you're picking up on.
Oh, that's pretty heavy stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to cleanse everything. I cleanse everything.
Yes.
It's very important. Even cleanse myself when I go out. They come back home.
That's good.
It's just,
That's good.
And especially now that we're I believe that we're ascending on a vibrational level as humans. So I feel like all of us are feeling it more. All of us are more susceptible to other people's energies now, and we're picking up on spirits, whether they be light or dark, more than we realize. You said something about seeing, the dark
Right.
spirit on the corner of the eye. I always see light, white
Good.
light in the corner of my eyes all day long. Doesn't matter. It happens to me at least like 30 times a day. In the beginning, I was like, why am I seeing this? Is there something wrong with my eyesight? But then I realized it's the spirits,
It
and
is.
they're there, and I can see them, and I see them clearer when I close my eyes. But a lot of times when my eyes are open, they'll just pop up right in the corner of mine. I just look over there. I just close my eyes, and then I just listen. I try to listen to the message. Sometimes a lot of the times the message is just breathe. A lot of the times, because once you start breathing and you calm yourself down, then you're able to hear the messages that are coming in afterwards. But it's harder to hear anything unless we're calm.
That's right. And when you quiet your mind is when the spirits talk through. They can't get through to you if your mind's always busy. That's why meditation is so good, because
Correct.
your mind is quiet. And Anne said, thrift stores are creepy. Yes, they are, because you don't know what you're going to get.
You don't know what you're going to get. No. So when you go, just keep your sage with you. Don't even put it in your car. Bring it outside and sage it outside before you put it in your car.
Exactly.
Grab your selenite wand. You were speaking about the selenite wand. I wanted to show you mine. I don't know if
Okay.
you can see it.
Wow.
It's
That's
bad boy.
awesome. That looks awesome. Sleep with it. That nothing will get near you.
Cleanse this thing in the Bahamas and brought back some of that tropical energy.
That's beautiful. I love the Bahamas. One of my favorite places. Your Allison says my mom does clean outs and she keeps a lot of their belongings. Every time I leave my mom, I feel drained. Like Yeah, exactly. Because you pick up so much energy. She's so
Oh yeah.
sensitive too. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that. We were actually at her mom's house the other day, and we felt when we walked. As soon as we walked out, she's like, "Do you feel that?" I'm like, "Yeah." Gotta go cleanse.
I know.
Yeah.
Some people like they offered me, they're like, oh, we're throwing this furniture out, it's brand new. And knowing that that person that had it is very negative, I said, keep it. I really don't want it. Because if they're if it's a person that has anger and screaming and stuff, why would you want to bring that into your house unless you want to be angry all the time? And sometimes even when you clear it, it's just knowing I just didn't want it. I didn't feel drawn to it. It was new furniture. I could have used it, but I just something told me no, so I didn't push it.
Yeah, I feel like it's different when you know, when you actually know. Going to a thrift store, you don't know, but if no matter what, just to, be safe, just always cleanse it, always clean it,
Exactly.
no matter what, and just protect yourself. Because when you don't, that's when you're opening yourself up for more damage, and you're allowing somebody or some entity to come through, whether it be a good one or a bad one. You don't know. So just make sure you
It's
open up
true.
that portal for the good ones to come through.
Exactly. And be picky what you bring into your house, what you wear. I know they have very good discounts and but still sometimes feel into it. If you're sensitive enough, you will know. If you're not, be careful. Then you're gonna have to call us up for advice and see what you can do about it. I would tell you throw it out. So, spirits that have crossed over, they tell me what's the difference, like earthbound hauntings and spirits that have crossed over are different because earthbound are not vibrating on a higher level. They're
Mm,
still at a low vibration. Some of them, like you see, they some people will post and say, "Oh, I experienced hell." Why? Because they were vibrating on a very low level, and I don't feel like you suffer for eternity, but I do feel that you could go to the lower dimensions. The way they're low, they're high, but
mm,
that's what they say. You attract what you are when you pass on. So God made the yin and the yang. Without the darkness, we don't know the light. But
mm.
when you go to, like, if people worship certain things, and you know what I mean, the dark side, I feel like you will become aligned with that of which you are. So that's why it's important to keep your vibration up. You don't want to, even though I don't feel like you're going to suffer for eternity, I do believe there is a lower dimension, just like there's a higher dimension. So, you know,
So do you feel, sorry, do you feel that all earthbound and earthbound spirits are of negative energy, of lower frequencies? Is that what you feel?
I don't think all of them, because I think that some of them might have been murdered and they stayed earthbound, and they
Hmm.
because they didn't want to go. Not all of them, but I do think suicide, because it's a negative, it's a lower dimension, and you
Yeah.
don't want to visit the dark side.
Okay.
you know you when you go, you're not crossing over to the higher planes. What happens, your soul is still stuck here, and all the roaming spirits and the darkness is on that channel. So you just have to really don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for your soul. It's a lot of things that could come out of it. You can be come into life, into anybody, and you have to do it all over again. Or you could be a spirit that's just haunting, or you can, there's so many things that can happen, and you don't want to do that. You want to fulfill your contract. I always tell people, just be careful, don't do that, because spirits talk through you, and that's again why I wrote my book. They will come into your thought pattern and say, oh, do it now, no one cares for you, nobody loves you. you know you don't mean anything to them to convince you to do it. I've had that experience when I was much younger. I was a teenager, and I know all about that stuff. So thank God I never was weak minded, and not to judge anyone, but I never gave into that.
Mm,
So you have to be aware that not all your thinking is your own. Things talk through you. They download information just like a computer, and they want you to go with them because misery loves company. And they
yeah.
are on the dark channel. And yes, there is a lower vibration. So I'm going to show my book one more time, My Journey from Darkness to the Light. And whoever wants it, You can find it at healingsonthego.com. It's all over, so you could just search it. But basically, they do talk. I went through a haunting. I had five demonic spirits that was in the house talking to all of us through our mind, and thank God we were sharing it. I used to see spirits just like I see you at a very young age, and I used to pray, please God, take it away from me. I didn't like seeing them so clearly. So it was just really hard.
I honestly believe, when we're born, we see these spirits. And I often wonder at what point in time, as a child, do we stop seeing the spirits? Like, do we adapt so much to this physical world that we stop seeing the spirits? Because you can see kids, they drift off and they'll be
Yes.
staring in a corner, you can
Yes.
see it. It's very clear. You're like, what is this baby staring at? You're like, you start to get freaked out if you're not aware of it. But, I often wonder, like, what's that age where we actually stop seeing the spirits?
Yeah, that's basically when they're very fresh from the other side,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to see the spirits young, like I did. But I think as you get older, it kind of drifts away. It depends. I know
I
my
feel
daughter
like,
sees it.
yeah, because you don't condition her to not see it. I feel like a
Right.
lot of us losing that sight is conditioned,
Right.
and it comes from our environment. I believe if a child grows up in a home where the parents understand what's really going on, they
Yeah.
understand the spirit world. I feel like you're gonna nurture that and make sure that your child doesn't lose it.
Yes,
It's
that's
just like
right.
anything. You got to practice it. You got to believe it. But, yeah.
Okay, we're going to take another quick break. We will be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody. Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium, and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back with my special guest, Kendall Bell. Yay! So, I wanted to talk about poltergeist, and this is very rare when it happens, but it does happen. Like the Amityville Horror, that movie.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's a very rare thing, but I do believe it does happen.
You've dealt
You know
with it.
what is it?
You've dealt with it.
I've
What?
seen. When I was younger, I have seen things being. So I'll tell you a story, a little excerpt of my book. My older sister, she was sleeping with a Snoopy doll, and when she was sleeping with it, it became alive and it started talking to her. It was saying, "Mommy, mommy." So she was and it was like thrown at her. So she took it and threw it across the room, and we were five sisters all sleeping in the same room, a big room. And then she was trying to say it, but not in a way I would understand because I was younger. She didn't want to scare me, but as I got older, she told me the truth. She said the Snoopy doll looked like it was thrown at her, and then it was saying, "Snoopy, mommy, mommy." So yeah, I do believe it happens. It's pretty freaky when it does,
Hmm.
but that was the only one time. But from movies and stuff, like the Amityville Horror is all about poltergeist. So those are really crazy things. Some people believe that there's spirits like manifestation where their energy becomes like something crazy happens. I don't know. But thank God it's not common.
Yeah, I feel like there's a demonic presence within this world that we live in right now that is being heavily promoted and heavily pushed on. the majority of the collective, to try to keep us from actually tapping into that higher realm of
Yes.
existence. I believe it's there, and I believe that's a part of the poltergeist. It's just something that's really right in front of our face, and we don't even see it a lot of times in our music, in the stuff that we read, on our phones. When we see all these different things, those are entities. It's a vibration that is affecting us in the way that we think. That's why people are addicted to porn, or people are addicted to chaos and drama or certain things. When you're hearing it all the time, music, it controls you. Music is something that is going to influence you. So if you're hearing it all the time, that is an entity that is behind that is influencing you to want to think about drugs, sex, and violence. If you don't listen to something with a higher vibration, you're going to focus on love, compassion, empathy.
You're 150% right. It is a spirit of lust, spirit. They're all demonic. And
Yeah.
what their mission is, they want to pull you down into the lower energy where you don't ascend. And the higher you go, the more the gremlins come out and they try to tempt you, like, ooh, just one more time or whatever. Everyone's addiction is different. So they will come and test you, pull you down because they don't want you to go higher. And you're right about that you know, that's
What's sad though now is one thing that I noticed, with the phones and stuff. A 5-year-old can see this stuff now. It's so open
that's
now.
crazy.
There
You
is no boundaries to what these kids can see, and then they're flashing them, and you'll see it in the commercial. I was watching a story on Instagram the other day, and all of a sudden, this really inappropriate ad came in, and it was right after showing something that involved kids. It was kids playing, and then one kid hit the other kid in the head with the bat, and then this thing just popped right up. I'm like, how is that possible? What if a child was watching this?
it's
So
just
it's
disgusting.
very scary, but there's so many different entities and so many different forms of spirits that are being pushed upon us through our devices in our everyday lives that we have to become aware of, because what we accept is what we attract, and it's a contract. If we're going to allow it and we don't just block that type of content, then guess what? We're opening up that portal and that door for that to come through all the time. The things I don't like to see, there's certain things I don't like to see. I don't like to see people getting shot or murdered. So I block that content because I don't want to see it.
That's
I know
good.
what it does to me. But I don't think a lot of us understand that we have the ability to do that. So knowing that, I hope that I'm able to share this information and help others. If you don't like something that you're seeing, then don't sign that contract. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Block it so you don't see that content anymore, and keep blocking it until it's out of your algorithm. Because
That's right.
your phone's an extension of you.
You're a very high vibration, Kendall. You're blessed. You really are. And not to categorize, but most um, it's unisex, but you're a rare breed. That's all I gotta say. The men, some men,
Well,
it's very rare to find your mentality in a man. Sorry, guys.
I'm humble. Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
very
so yeah,
special. Yeah, you
I'm
really
trying.
are.
I'm learning to accept compliments, and the ones that come from you are always graceful. So thank you. You make it easy.
It's really true and from the heart. I don't compliment for no reason. It's really true because your mind is very evolved, and that's why everyone loves you being on. You make everyone happy, and you motivate a lot of people.
And they motivate me as well. I
Uh,
appreciate you all for
you're welcome. We
reflections.
appreciate you too. So now we will talk about spirit guides and how they come. So I printed a whole list of it. So one of the signs that they come in is like dreams and visions. They visit like that. Number two is enhanced senses, like what you said, perfume, something that would remind you of them. You know what I get a lot? Like I
Mm,
can tell if someone's thinking of me by, let's say your number is 541. And if
mm,
I keep seeing that number all the time, I know that that person's thinking of me. All of a
mm,
sudden, I'm like, oh, wow. And then a few minutes later, I get a call or something that reminds me of you. So God's always talking to us. It's always, are we paying attention? Because there's signs everywhere. If you really pay attention, you'll know a lot. And so the next one is electrical. That's another interesting one because what happened was it was my birthday a couple years ago and my mom's phone was ringing and it was like 10:30 at night and I'm like, that's weird because my mother never calls me. I hope nothing happened. So make a long story short, it was my birthday. When I answered it, I just heard like staticky. So I'm like, I called my mom back. I'm like, my sister answered. She's like, yes, everything okay? That's it. Is our mother okay? She goes, she's sleeping. Dad go, well, who called me? And it was my dad from the other side trying to wish me a happy birthday, which I never
Wow,
forgot ever. I was so happy because he always played with the phones.
that's
So I
amazing.
was like, yeah, I said, thank you, Dad, because that really was something. I even took a screen picture. I'm like, you didn't call me? She said, no, I think my phone was even off. Did you ever get something like that?
Oh man, I experience this on a daily basis. Honestly, with between the ears ringing all the time, like I get these my ears at least 3 times a day. They will get this high pitch electrical ringing in my ears, where I know that I'm tapping into something again. I close my eyes and I try to hear, and I'll hear what's going on, or so, and then all of a sudden I'll be thinking about somebody after I get this, and that person will just pop up on my news feed, or memories of them would pop up. And it's
Wow.
but for somebody that's passed away, their mother or somebody will reach out to me, which is it's kind of and when first started happening, it was kind of scary, but as time went on and it kept on happening, I understood why it was happening, and I understood that I was just being used, and I was also also being guided, because I feel like we're connected there, even if our friends' parents pass away or our friends pass away, just because they're not your bloodline, that doesn't mean you're not connected to them. Because if you really look at everybody as an extension or a reflection of you, when you look at them beyond their physical form, you look at spirit and you look at energy and how energy is interconnected, that means you're connected to everything. So that means that everybody that you come across them for a reason. You existed in another realm, and that's the only reason why you see them here. If and you're connected, so if you just look at this, it's easier for you to understand, your power, and you become more of a stronger beacon or portal, for these entities that pass on, that move on. But I know now, like a lot of the people that have passed on in my life, like I know why they were here. I know why they were here. I know what they were here to teach me, and they know that I know. So that makes our bond even, more powerful. So,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
Uh, the next one is higher levels of intuition. Spirit guides deliver information and answers to us through our intuition. It's true. If the spirits know that you always look at the time like 333, 444, they're going to come in and try to give you that symbol, whatever they know you're paying attention to. Before I
Mhm.
do a reading, I always call onto my spirit guide and I always see her come in. So it's beautiful. They come and talk to us in the way they feel that we're understanding.
Mm.
Which do you know your spirit guide? Do you know if it's a male or female? Ooh,
My
crazy.
spirit guide's a female.
Ooh,
And yeah, and she comes mostly in the form of birds.
ooh.
Um, at, always, it's but yeah, but that's what helps. She's what helps me tap into my feminine energy. This is how I'm able to forgive. This is how I'm able to, call up others and apologize. Like, is because I hear and I know what she's saying to me, and that softness is what helps my hardness become more strong, because it can't have too much of that. It can't have too much of this hardy har har. I gotta have. I can't. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I realize now that women are more powerful than men. Men. Not to say that men are not powerful, but the power that's needed in order for us to find a balanced life, it lies within a woman. A woman has that, is born with that naturally, and we all
Thank
need that. So I'm grateful for all you women.
thank you, thank you. You're so sweet. The next one is spiritual chills. I believe that's the psychic truth, and in this, it says random chills throughout your body is when spirit guides are reaching out to you. I believe like when you tell me something and I get the chills, I believe it's a spirit around, and also that's the truth.
You always say that too. You always tell me, "I got the chills." It's anytime we have a
True.
conversation and I'm speaking to you about something that I'm prophesizing, something that I'm thinking, you're like, "Oh, I got the chills." You have to follow that.
The psychic truth, yes. The words of wisdom. It gives me the
Yeah.
chills. Then the next one is sudden special scents, aromas used by spirits to catch our attention. That's another
Mm,
good one.
yes,
Yes.
as I was
So
speaking on earlier. Yes.
Your mom comes in with a lavender smell, or
Yes,
oh no
the
wonder
lavender.
it just came to me.
Yeah, yeah. She comes in with the lavender smell. And I know when she's around because I'll start to see like purple dots
Wow.
as well. So I know it's her.
I feel like she's with you right now.
Oh, she is. She's right there.
No wonder
She's
I
always
felt
there.
lavender, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. She's always here. You know, whether I like it or not. Sometimes I'm in my moments where I don't want to be bothered, but I can't get rid of her. She's always
That
there.
is funny. That reminds me of this lady. She was close to her mom. She goes, "Damn, I thought when she crossed over, she'd leave me alone, but she's all over the place."
No, no, and I'm grateful because as when you're gifted with certain powers and you're trying to ascend, you come to these points in your life where you're like, you know what, I'm tired. I need a break.
Yeah.
You want to run and you want to hide and you don't want to deal with humans. You don't want to
Yes.
you don't want to take on the task, and you don't want to share your gifts. You want to just be a little stingy with your energy for a little while, but you staying stuck there. That's where I'm grateful for my mom, because it was a period where I was stuck there and I didn't want to come back out, and I felt like every time I came out to share my heart and share my gifts, I was attacked. But I didn't realize, even though through those attacks I was also protected as well. And I didn't know that what people were throwing at me, they were just throwing at themselves. And I would feel it, but I wouldn't feel it as much as they felt it, because what you put out is what you get back. So maybe I am here to help teach them a lesson, whether they're throwing shade or whatever, they're trying to bring me down or whatever. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they're going to learn their own lessons.
Yeah, that's true. And the funny story I have of my spirit guide. One time I was laying down because I felt depressed. So I just was laying down a lot. And I heard her in my mind go, "Get up. There's nothing wrong with you. Get up off the bed."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Wait,
yeah,
I want to rest." She's like, "There's nothing wrong with you. Get up."
get up. Mine is usually get up and clean. Get up and clean, just and that starts everything. Just clearing out the energy, clean is my thing. My
That's
energy is
good.
off when I don't. But yeah, I'm grateful for that voice. I'm grateful for my mom. She's always kicking me in my butt, always making me stay on my toes, and knowing that I'm special. We all are special, no matter what.
You are
But
special.
we get in these moments where we doubt ourselves and we doubt our abilities, and it's very important for us to always unplug from this world and tap into that spirit world, so we can get rejuvenated and we can get more of the truth. Too much of anything is not good for you. So staying plugged into the matrix for too long is not good for you. You're running on a depleted battery.
That's absolutely true. And my dad, he always comes when I don't feel good. I always feel him, like if I'm laying down holding my head. I used to get headaches, and I
Mm-hmm.
always would feel him around. So they come when they know they're needed, and you can always call on to them. I have a couple people like, "Can you call my mom?" Or I said, "She hears you. Go ahead, just call her. She could hear you."
Mm-hmm.
So
Believe and receive.
yes, they're there. They just need your permission because they really cannot intervene with your life unless you ask them for help. They can't
Mm-hmm.
come and do whatever they want. You have to say, "So and so, can you please help me?" And they will say, "Of course." And they will make things happen for you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
no better than, anybody. You can always ask your relative or loved one to come and assist you, and they will do it.
Mm-hmm. This is
And
true. And accepting the form of help that comes in. Sometimes, they rip things out of our lives and we think it's the worst thing, until later
yes,
on down the line, we're like, oh my God, I was, thank you. Thank you. You just saved, you know what I mean? Like, I was walking down this path. I thought that this was the thing for me, but I realized I was walking down, a path that was going to lead me into a pit of fire. Now that, you removed it from my life. So, you know, not everything that we wish for is going to come in the way that we think it's going to come. But once it's there, we
yes,
gotta
that's true.
accept it.
That's very
And,
true.
a lot of the times, heartache and heartbreak is what brings us more towards ourself, because we're just breaking down the parts of us that can no longer exist, that have to be depleted, that have to be put down, but they can't exist up here. They have to be put into the foundation, and they got to be put in the foundation with love and understanding and nurturing, so we can build stronger on that and build bigger on that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes the lessons are hard and people get heartbroken, But at the end of it all, it is for the best. Unfortunately, it hurts, but it's for the best 99% of the time. It really is. So
Yeah,
I can relate to those stories.
yeah. We all can, and then and it just comes down to it, like what's supposed to be for you. You're gonna fight for. You're gonna make sure that it's for you. But we just gotta remember, we can never lose ourselves in the midst of pursuing something else, and that's where it becomes dangerous, and that's when our guides come in more heavily, and that's when they start making things happen. If we're too afraid to do it, then they're gonna make it happen, no matter what. They're
Yes.
gonna make it so you cannot turn back. They're gonna make it so you despise whatever it is that's keeping you held back. I realized that the hard way so many times because I don't like change sometimes. I don't
Me
like
neither.
and for all of us, I believe that change is scary. It really is. It's very
Yes.
scary because we get so comfortable in our lives, but we don't realize, till we're pushed over the hill that we always had wings. Pushed off that cliff. That's the way we were gonna fly. It's like the bird when the bird comes out. What does it do? It flies. Like it's just what it is. And the butterfly automatically comes out flying. The bird takes a little bit of time, but the butterfly, once it comes out of the cocoon, it just flies right away. That's all it knows how to do. No fear, no nothing. It doesn't even walk or go fly a straight path. It's just scattered all over the place everywhere, but it always hits its mark.
Yes, that's why all our emotions, anxiety, fear, and stress, what are they? They're like wearing coats.
Hmm.
So a bird cannot fly with all these heaviness. One by one, just address the problem. Never sweep it under the carpet because what will happen, it will never get healed. So as
Hmm.
it's brought up, try to think of the solution rather than the problem, because focusing on problem is just going to make it worse. Focus how you're going to make it better, how you're going to release it, some solutions that would make you help you heal, or else it will become a physical manifestation and you will get sick, unfortunately. But this is all lessons that we all deal with, and just letting it go in a point of healing. You can't just say, okay, I'm mad, but I forgot about it. That's not true. I don't believe that. You just
Yeah.
have to come to terms with it, release the anger, somehow settle it. And then the layer comes off and you're going to fly like a bird.
Spot on. Spot on. Amen. That's some sound advice right there. Yeah, you're getting that for free, guys. All right. That's free game. All right.
Right. Free healing.
That's free game right there. Take that. You know, you're blessed. Thank you for articulating that because you're speaking in a way that it's easy for the average person, easy for a child to understand what you're saying. And I think that's one of the hardest tasks we have as beacons of light is being able to communicate on a universal level. Like, can I speak to a 90-year-old and can I speak to a 9-month-year-old? Like it's just, it's and that's the beauty of it all, becoming that bridge. I like to look at myself as a bridge. I like to look at myself that's adaptable in any environment that I go in, and I keep that old school love in me that my grandma gave me and that my aunts and my uncles gave me, and I bring it into this new world, this new generation where I understand how to connect with these kids as well. I know that kids love love. I know that they love to play. I love, what I mean. I also know that there's teenagers and adolescents out here who are damaged and don't know how to take it. So it's like when you meet them with a certain level of integrity, it's always going to be met with love. No matter what it is that they got going on inside of them, it's easier for them to connect with you. So for
Exactly.
you guys all understand, you have this power. You're a bridge. Whether you're young or old, you're a bridge. Be that bridge. Be the difference.
Yes, and unfortunately, the show is almost over. But tell them real quick how they can find you, Kendall.
You guys can catch me on Rare Breed Universe on IG, on Facebook. Hit me up there, and then I'm also on TikTok, Rare Breed Universe, RAR3BR33D Universe.
Okay, and you can find me, Linda DeVitis, or healingsonthego.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. It went like 10 minutes. It went so fast.
It
It's
always
always
does
a
because time
pleasure,
is a big
Kendall.
illusion. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Be well, be safe, and never commit suicide. Hang in there. Good days are coming. Have a great night, everybody.